10 print-on-demand products you can sell without investing in inventory. This is part 2 of 2. Hey guys, if you haven't watched part 1 of the series, you want to go back and watch part 1 first, because in that video I actually list all the products. In this video here, this is the exciting one. After you learn what the products are, in here I'm going to show you how to design and create these products and price them so that they just fly off the shelf. So let's get right into it. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe, make sure you ring the bell, turn on all bell notifications so you're notified every single time I do a new video or if I go live. Now, creating new products, it's a lot of fun. I've created new products myself, from courses to survival food and all that, and it's really exciting to come up with a product and to know that that product didn't exist before you came along and you made something out of it. It is super exciting, but you may not think you're creative, or you may be creative. There's 3 ways you can create your product, and I want to go through each one here. The first one is the obvious one. You can create it yourself. You can create what the shirt says, what the design says, you know, for your coffee mug, whatever you want to do, you could just do it yourself. The number 2 way is to hire somebody else. There are a lot of product designers out there. You can go to Upwork, you can go to Fiverr and say, hey, I want to have t-shirts designed, I want to have mugs designed, and you can find somebody to do it pretty cheap, maybe 10-20 bucks, doesn't cost you that much. And then the third way is what? You can buy design templates. Now, design templates are something where you just change the words around. The design is already there, it's already set up, the font's already set up. And I want to go through each one of these things so you can kind of understand what each one of them is going to mean to you, and so that you can make a good decision as far as how you want to go about it. Now let's talk about the first one, creating it yourself. This is probably one of the more difficult ways of going about it, but it's not hard to do. A lot of t-shirts, a lot of mugs, a lot of things like that just have a few words on them. It's just a saying, so it's not that difficult. Do keep in mind that you're going to need a very high resolution, so you're going to need something like, you know, a PDF, or you're going to need Photoshop or something like that, so you can upload a very high resolution. Also keep in mind, if you're designing your own, that each product is going to have different dimensions. Each company that you deal with is going to have different requirements. So the size of the dimension for a coffee mug is going to be different from a t-shirt, from a wall art, from a shower curtain, or whatever. So just keep in mind when you are designing those, that there are different dimensions that need to be adhered to. So you want to make sure you select the print-on-demand companies that you want to use, and then go ahead and do your designs based on that criteria. The number 2 alternative is just to hire somebody else, and fortunately nowadays that's very inexpensive to do. You can go to Upwork, you can go to Fiverr, and all you really have to do is give them the words you want to use, or give them an idea of the design, and nowadays you can get it for $10, $20, $30. Now I would say the more you pay, usually you're going to get a better design, but that's not always the case. So whoever you decide on, make sure you check their previous reviews, make sure they've got a lot of experience, they've done a lot of designs. Make sure you look at the designs. Almost all of them will have a portfolio, and if they don't, that's a problem. So make sure you hire somebody with a portfolio and look in their portfolio and see what they've done in the past. That's a great way to get all your designs done quickly and professionally, and you'll probably get really good results doing that. Now the last way to get your designs done is to buy design templates. There are actually websites where you can go in and purchase these templates. They usually range from anywhere from $7 to $25. A couple of them that I'll mention to you, Creative Market is certainly one of them. Another one is Graphic River, and they sell different kinds of graphic assets and templates, and you can use them on all kinds of different products. They're very helpful. Just keep in mind that other people are probably using them too. You know, they sell those templates to a lot of people, so you're not going to be as original. However, it's a quick way to get something done. Now your first step is to create a mock-up product. In other words, what is it going to look like on that particular product? Now some of these print-on-demand sites have product mock-ups on there, and you can actually use them. You can also go to, you know, Creative Market, or you can go to Graphic River, and they have mock-ups there that you can actually purchase, and they're usually $10 to about $40, so you can do your mock-up there. But it's really important to kind of see that product before you go out there in the market and try to sell it. The next thing up is pricing. What do you do on pricing? Now since we're talking about print-on-demand products, understand that your profit margin, and let me explain what profit margin is first too. I don't want to go over anybody's head, but let's say that you're selling a t-shirt for $25, and the print on demand company is going to charge you $10 for that t-shirt, and they're going to charge you $3 to ship it out. So that is your dead cost, right? That $13. And if you're selling it for $25, you're going to make a $12 profit. Now if you were to go out and buy the same t-shirt in bulk and you order 500 of them, maybe you could get them for $9. But the point is, here we don't want to invest in inventory. That can be something you'll want to do on down the road, but in the beginning we want to test it. And just because our profit margin is a little bit less doesn't mean we shouldn't do it, because understand, you don't have to invest any of your money. And that's a key component right there, is you don't have to invest money. So it allows you to test a whole lot of different products without having any investment outside of your time and whatever design it was for that particular product. Now as far as setting the actual price, what you want to do is look at some of the places you're going to sell your product. So let's say you're going to sell it at Etsy. You can go on Etsy and you can search t-shirts that are similar to what you have. You can see what they're selling for, and then you can price your product accordingly. I wouldn't say I would be the lowest one in there, because there's always somebody who is almost willing to lose money just to get a customer on their books and hopefully sell them something on down the road, which is certainly a good business plan in some cases. But right now you may not have those other products, so you can't do that. You also don't want to be on the highest end, because those products, you know, they don't sell as well. The most expensive ones don't sell as well. So if you can kind of hit that sweet spot in between, you're better off. Now some people say, oh my gosh, it's too late for me to do that, there's so many people in the market. That's actually a good thing. The fact that there's a lot of people in the market doing this right now gives you a lot of data. You can see what designs are working, you can see what prices are working, you can see who's selling t-shirts. Especially on something like Etsy, you can go in there and see how many sales they had. So it's actually really good information for you, and that's how I would recommend you actually pricing your product, is looking at all the competition that's out there. Now before launching your product, you're going to want to create a few pages, and you're going to want to have them on your website. The first one is an About Us page. You want to give the buyer some information about you, how you got started, what your story was, what your goal is. You know, maybe you're doing eco-friendly products and you want to save the world and save the oceans and all these things. You'd want to talk to them about that on your About Us page. The next thing you want to have is a Contact Us. A Contact Us is super important. People always look for that because they feel like, well, if I buy from you and I don't like something or I want to return it, what happens? You know, how am I going to contact you? And that brings me to the next page, which is a refund page. Refund pages are so very important. Just this morning I had somebody who bought one of our courses, okay, and it's not a print on demand product, but they bought one of our courses, and they said, you know, they didn't think the course was totally for them. They just thought they would watch, you know, my free stuff and they would get a refund on what they bought. And we do have a refund policy, but part of the refund policy is that they have to go through the course and they have to implement what's in the course, or we don't give a refund because they haven't even tried it. This particular person said, oh yeah, well they were watching the videos and doing all this, but we have software that tracks all this, and that person had not watched any of the videos. They hadn't done anything, and that's a big problem, right? They've got to at least try. My course is sitting there by itself. If you don't watch the material and you don't implement anything it tells you to do, will not make you any money. Guaranteed, it's not going to make you any money. So we do have that refund policy that you have to at least try it and implement the stuff, and we also track you, and we know if you've tried it, because we can tell if you've watched the videos. It's quite simple. The next page you're going to want to have is a terms and conditions page. Terms and conditions are simple as, you know, what I'm going to do with your information. Do we share your information with other people? All that good stuff that people want to know about. That's really important to have a page on that too. Next one is, of course, a shipping policy. Shipping policy lets people know, based on where they are in the world, when they can expect to get that particular product. Now as you're using these print on demand companies, they will have a shipping policy too, and they'll tell you it takes 3 to 5 days to produce it and another 3 days to, you know, get it to the customer. So you'll want to take whatever that policy is and add a day or two to it so that the customer knows how soon they're going to get the product. Now some people say, well, you know, I get scared because somebody wouldn't buy if they heard it was 10 days. Well, the point is, if you don't tell them and you don't get it to them in 10 days, they're going to refund anyhow. So it's better just to let them know up front, let them know it's a high demand product, and it's going to take 10 days to get to them, or whatever the shipping policy is. And the next thing you're going to want to have as far as your pages is what? A frequently asked question page. This is so important, guys, because otherwise you're going to be answering the same questions over and over and over and over. They're going to be sending you emails and you're going to have to keep answering the same question. So what we do is we have a frequently asked question page. and we can just direct them to it. If they ask any questions whatsoever, we can direct them to it, and they can get all their questions answered. We also have a help desk. We do all this through Kartra. Kartra is great marketing software. I highly recommend it. You'll find a link to it below in the description. You can click on the link and you can go there and see what it does. If you like Kartra, which I'm sure you will, and you want to build your pages there, which is a really good idea, you can get it for a trial for only $1. So do want to check that out. Now let's talk about how you can market your products. That's super important too. We got the pricing down and the creation and all, but now we got to market it. The first way you can market it is through ads, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, Google ads. But I will warn you about this: do not run ads until you've gotten some training. I do have a course on Facebook ads. You'll find it in the description below. You're welcome to check that out. If you just run money on ads, you're going to lose money in the beginning. That's just a fact. Everybody does, because you don't know how to do it. So you can either choose to lose money on ads that don't work in the beginning and hopefully try to figure it out, which some people never do. Or what you can do is you can take a course that teaches you how to do it, and you skip over all those pitfalls. That's the best way to do it if you want to advertise. The next thing you can do is use influencer marketing. A lot of influencers out there will give you a shout out, or they'll do a post, or they'll talk about your product. This can be done on Instagram, it can be done on Twitter, it can be done on YouTube. There's plenty of influencers out there that would gladly take your business and talk about your product to their audience. Another way to sell your products is through affiliate marketing. You can use a site like ShareASale. You can use a site like ClickBank, where you can put your product up for sale and affiliates go there and look for products to market. That's a great way to do it. You're going to have to pay a commission, which print on demand, you know, you're going to be pretty tight anyhow. But if you can afford to pay 10-20% to somebody else, and keep in mind, when you're paying this other person, this is business that you wouldn't have had, right? Because they're going to be sending it out to their list or their people, or running an ad for you. So, you know, when you say, well, gee, I don't want to give up any of my profits, you're not really giving up your profits. You're still gaining more profit. As long as what you pay out in commission is less than what your profit margin is, it's a good thing. It's just added business. The last way you can actually promote your products is through content marketing, right? Content marketing, you can write blogs, you can write stories. There's so many things you can do. You can do videos about your product. You know, maybe you talk about your product on your channel. I do that a little bit, right, with my products, because I tell you in the description below there's a course on Facebook ads. So I'm kind of doing content marketing right now. I'm teaching you how to do this print on demand, but I'm also giving you some products that will help you along if you want to purchase those products. So those are there for you too. So content marketing is really good. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing content marketing. I'm giving you content, but I'm also doing marketing. Pretty cool. And I want to add a bonus to this. Podcasts are really pretty cool. I'm not doing one right now. You know, I'm more into the YouTube channel. However, podcasts are very good. You could be talking about any subject, you know, maybe it's animal rescue and that's your podcast, or how to take care of your dogs and cats or whatever. And then maybe off to the side, you had t-shirts that had some of the sayings or some of the beliefs that you had, and you could market those t-shirts, you could market those mugs, you could market hats and caps and wallets and whatever you want to do. And that gives you another platform to sell your product. So podcasts are pretty good. And it doesn't, you know, a lot of people say, well, I don't have an audience of millions of people. You don't need an audience of millions of people. You know, you have 1,000 true followers. And you know, they say you can make 100,000 a year off just 1,000 people. So it really is how you work that audience and what you offer to that audience. But it doesn't take as many people as what you would think. Now, the cool thing about print on demand, at the end of the series here, I want to go over some of this, is that anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to be a graphic artist. You don't have to be some e-commerce genius. You don't have to have any experience, because there's so many automations nowadays, guys, from, you know, sites like Etsy, where you can put your products, or you can use Kartra and build your own pages, and then all these print on demand companies make your product for you. It's really just a matter of effort. And what I've seen over the past decade that I've been doing this, more than a decade now, is that the majority of the people that don't do well are the people that just quit. They just quit. They try one or two things, or they think they're going to do something and they never get to it. They're quitters. Okay, they're quitters and they're lazy. If you're a quitter and you're lazy, don't do this. This isn't for you. This is for people who want to work hard. However, the payoff is that you can make a lot of money if you want to do that, but you're going to have to give up your time. You're going to have to give up your effort. You're going to have to try some things, and everything's not going to work. you know, don't believe that every time you come up with a design that it's just going to skyrocket, because it's not. It doesn't work that way. You have to come up with a lot of designs and a lot of products, and you have to put in a lot of time to do this. This is where I lose subscribers, because they're like, JR's saying I'm gonna have to work hard. I don't want to have to work hard. That's not what I want to do at all. I want that thing where you work 4 hours a month and you make $1 million a year. That's the thing I want. And I say it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It never has existed. They sell you that pipe dream because they want your money. Okay, they want you to give them money so that they can tell you that you don't have to do anything and that you're going to make a lot of money. It's not gonna happen. Realize it. Sorry, it's the truth. Now what I'd like for you to do is, really, you got to put forth some action, and this is going to help a lot. And that action is hit that subscribe button down there. That's the first thing you can do, and ring the bell. Turn on the bell for all bell notifications so you're notified every single time I do this video. If you haven't watched video 1 in the series, that's where I give you all the products. Okay, so that's the first video before this one. You'll find a link in the description below. Go watch that video if you happen to have watched this one and not watched the first one. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to grab my free course below. $97 course. It's absolutely free. All you have to do is click and learn. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell right there so you can be notified every time I do a new video. Also, click on one of those videos there. Keep watching on my channel.